Welcome to the solutions for the Unit 1 Pre-Test Study Guide over integers for Pre-Algebra. You went through this entire sheet on your own, and let's see how you did. So going down to number 1, we are going to go ahead and fill in the blank with either less than, greater than, or equal to. So if we evaluate the left side, this is the absolute value symbol. So the absolute value is the distance from 0. So the absolute value of -7 is 7, but then there's a negative sign in front of the absolute value, and that's going to make this the opposite, or a -7. And the absolute value of 2 is 2 because 2 is a distance of 2 from 0. So we have -7, we have 2, and -7 is less than 2. That's number 1. Number 2, give an example where the difference of two negative integers is positive. So let's go ahead and start with an integer like -3. Remember, an integer is a positive, negative, or neutral number that doesn't have any parts with it, like -3 or 0 or 5. So difference means subtract, so now we're going to subtract. Now we have to think, because we're going to subtract integers, we're going to have to add the opposite. So the second integer that we want to use needs to have an absolute value bigger than the first here. So let's put -5 here and try it out. So we have -3 minus -5, so if we add the opposite, we have -3 plus 5, and we get a positive result. So that works. Number 3, give an example where the quotient means to divide two integers, is greater than the product, which means multiply, of two integers. So let's go ahead and take something like 10 divided by 2. Now that would result in 5. And we need that result to be greater than if we multiply two integers together. Well, there's lots of things that we could do. We know 5 is greater than 0 or any negative number. So one thing I could do is I could do 0 times 7, because 5 is greater than 0, because 0 times anything is 0. That's an option. Number 4. Given any integer a, the opposite of that integer is always less than a. All right, let's think about that. So if we had, let's say a was 7, the opposite of 7 is -7. Well, it says, is the opposite of that integer always less than a? Well, that case is. Let's look at -4. Its opposite is 4. Given any integer a, like -4, is the opposite 4 less than what we started with? The answer is no. That's false. Now we get into simplifying, when we're adding and subtracting and multiplying and dividing. So here we have 11 negatives and 5 more negatives, so we keep the sign, and that makes that -16. This is -8 plus 14. I have more positives than negatives, 6 more that is. Remember, as we go through this, these are things that you would learn or relearn in Unit 1. So that's why I'm going through this very, very quickly with you today. We have 9 minus 21. We're going to add the opposite. 9 plus -21 is -12. Number 8, we'll add the opposite. -2 plus, now a +8 is 6. When we multiply, since we have a negative times a positive, that's -56. 10, we have a negative times a negative. Two negatives are going to multiply to a product that's positive. That's 60. Think of a clock. Quotients division follows the same rules as multiplication. 63 divided by -7 is -9. And -48 divided by -4 turns out to be a +12. That's page 1. Let's move on and do a little bit on page 2. You have $430 in your bank account and save $20 each week for 1 year. How much will you have in your bank account after 1 year? So how many weeks are in a year? Well, there's 52. So this would be 20 times 52. So we've got to figure out that. And then we're going to have to add that on to 430. So that's how we're going to do this. So if we take 52 and multiply it by 20, we're going to bring down to 0. 2 times 2 is 4. 5 times 2 is 10. That's $1,040 that we're saving. And we're going to add that on to the 430, lining everything up. So I'm going to be left with $1,470 at the end of the year. 14, a diver begins at the surface of water. So we're going to begin at 0 feet. There's the feet sign. She goes down in the water 5 feet per minute for the first 6 minutes. So every minute she's going to go 5 feet down. So that means we're going to go down another 30 feet from where we started. Over the next 4 minutes, she goes down in the water 3 feet per minute. It gets a little harder. Write an integer for the diver's depth in the water after 10 minutes. So in those last 4 minutes there, every minute she's going to go down 3 feet. So that's going to be 4 times 3 or 12 feet. So we started at the surface. We went down 30 and down another 12. So we went down 42 feet total. And to write that as an integer, her depth is negative 42 feet. And I'll put the feet symbol because we always want to label things. Let's look at 15. This is all exponents. So this is 4 cubed, which means 4 times 4 times 4, which is 64. On 16, this is the quantity negative 7 squared. This means I'm going to take negative 7 times itself, and that's going to result in 49. But notice the parentheses are missing on 17. This is just squaring the 7. This is really 7 times 7, and we're going to make our answer negative, or the opposite, negative 49. And then anything to the 0 power is 1. 20. When we work with, let's go back. Let's do 19 first. To write an exponential form, how many 9s do we have? Well, we have 4 9s. We're going to write this as 9 to the 4th times how many 4s? 4 to the 2nd, or 4 squared. Now we've got all of the exponents in. Now we'll go to 20. So we're going to multiply. This is 5 times 3, which is 15. And this means I have 4 x's and another 2 x's, so I have a total of 6 of them. I'll add the exponents there. On 21, I have 7 to the 5th, and I have 8 of those. So I could think of it like this. Bear with me for a moment. If I wrote all these down, how many 7s do I really have? Well, the easy way is just to take 5 times 8, and I have 7 to the 40th. I have 40 7s there. And finally, 22, when I divide with exponents, I have 6 x's in the numerator, and I have 1 in the denominator. So I can cross 1 off because x divided by x is 1, leaves me with x to the 5th. Order of operations as we close things off here. This is 10 to the 3rd power, 10 cubed. When we do order of operations, we're going to do exponents parentheses first. So 10 to the 3rd gives us 1,000. 1 and 3 zeros. We don't have parentheses. We have multiplication and division. So let's go and do that next. 8 times 2 is 16, and 20 divided by 4 is 5. Now I can add and subtract from left to right. So 1,000 minus 16 is 984, plus 5 is 989. Doing parentheses first on the left side is very tempting to do 8 plus 2, but I have to do parentheses first. 1 minus 4 is negative 3. Now I'll bring down my 8 because now I have 2 times negative 3, which is negative 6. Instead of writing plus a negative, I'm just going to write negative 6, and 8 minus 6 is 2. We close out with scientific notation. 7.2 times 10 to the negative 3rd power means I need to take 7 2/10 and move the decimal once, twice, and 3 times. This results in 0.0072, or 72 10,000ths. Over here, because I have a positive exponent, I'm going to move the exponent twice to the right, or the decimal twice to the right, and be left with 105. And 105 is definitely greater than 0.0072, so 0.0072 is less than 105. Hey, thanks for watching. And your next step is to look this over, and you'll be taking the Unit 1 pretest and see how many of these skills you have mastered already. Thanks for watching.